so I found my file. Thank you for pointing out that I did have it up in Brightspace. So just pointing out I can execute the stored procedure, right? And so I've got, 136 rows here, right? You can see, now this is based on a view we created earlier on, all right? Similar to how we talked about making a view that eagerly loads extra information we might want bundled up at the same time. So here I have my summary properties, a nice concatenated version of the name with the middle initial if they have one, showing the age, right? That's using a function that we did earlier. We created a simple function to calculate the age based on today's date and the birth date and so on and so forth, and the gender. And so we have our lookup value showing not just the integers. That's great that the athlete table contains integer, 12 for a given contingent, but 12 doesn't tell me much, so having the names of the contingents included in the output is very valuable. But we're getting all the data, and of course I should get the exact same results by passing my nulls. I have all 136 rows. So here's just an example of doing, contingent 2. Which contingent is that? Gee, I don't remember. It shows the value of having the names as well as the numbers, right? So there it is. Prince Edward Island. These are all athletes from PEI. By the way, the names are all made up. Okay, they aren't real names, so don't worry about that. But so we got lots of combinations of different tests here. So, here's a date range with nothing else, right? So I've given you lots. Oh, by the way, these tests, yeah, I used Copilot. I copied and pasted the stored procedure code and said, make up some use cases for this. It wasn't perfect. It used the name Smith everywhere. And I don't have anybody named Smith. So that's why you notice I changed down to TH, right? Because there are lots of names with just a TH in them, okay? Here, this has got every filter going, all filters. Nobody matched every filter I have here. Probably it's the date range, I'm thinking. Because if I just do these 3, I'm sure I'll get some data. No, okay. All right, nobody with that gender and in that contingent has TH in their name. Okay, but we've got the right answer. Okay, if we're doing that search for that criteria, the answer is no, there is no matching record. So that's not a failure, right? All right, away you go. Okay, and just showing that empty strings work exactly the same way as null values, and I'm back to having all my data. Okay, so the AI did a reasonable job on coming up with some test cases for me, but maybe not as good as I could do if I took the time to do it myself. But anyway, that shows the value then of creating this select by stored procedure. And as well, I've shown you where you can come in here and get another good example on how to actually create all your standard stored procedures, because there is timestamped row version, so we have concurrency control here as well. So if I bring up the athlete update, again, I'll script it into a new query window. Right? You can see that we have our where clause here using the row version as well. Right? So if somebody else has changed the record while we were editing ourselves, it will not succeed in doing the update, okay, protecting so we don't overwrite somebody else's changes and so on. Okay, well that basically is that. I'm going to stop the recording. Control Shift. Or Control whatever.